President Trump signed an executive order late this afternoon that would begin the process of dismantling the Department of Education.
And as education reporter Doug Williams explains, though the headline sounds drastic, it means very little compared to the measures that have already been taken.
We want to have our children well educated. We want them to love going to school.
You'd be forgiven for thinking that the president signing an executive order to dismantle a government agency means, well, that the agency will be dismantled. But in this case, it's not that easy.
No president, no executive order can override an act of Congress. I mean, that's constitutional government 101.
Without Congress, the Trump administration has the authority only to restructure department staff. What they've done is more akin to bulldozing it, laying off thousands already.
We're going to shut it down and shut it down as quickly as possible. It's doing us no good. We want to return our students to the states.
American education is predominantly paid for at the state and local level. The city's school system, for example, gets 95% of its funding locally. But President Trump has blamed the Department of Ed for high costs, low testing scores, and left-leaning ideologies. A lot of blame for a department that his own education secretary said this about on Wednesday.
The Department of Education doesn't educate anyone. It doesn't hire teachers. It doesn't establish curriculum. It doesn't hire school boards or superintendents. It really is to help provide funding.
Isn't the secretary making the same argument that you and other educators have made, but for keeping the Department of Education?
This idea of moving control back to the states is really just a head fake to try to convince us that the federal government is responsible for our schools' failures, when in fact it is each individual state and district that really needs to up their game.
So if our country's education issues are local, what happens if and when all the funding becomes local?
The attorneys that used to work at the Department of Education to make sure states actually do what they say they're going to do with those dollars have all been fired. We have essentially told states with a wink and a nod that you can use these dollars how you want because nobody's going to be checking.
Doug Williams, CBS News, New York.
And White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said in the briefing on Thursday that Pell Grants and student loans will still run out of the department despite today's order to dismantle it.